want to talk about inflation and how much that matters, particularly in the UK. It's a huge issue in the UK, as I'm sure you're well aware. Whether it's your national insurance contributions or energy cost, inflation is at a 30-year high in the UK. The Bank of England is responding, as I'll show you in a second, very aggressively. But what does inflation have to do? What does rising prices have to do with recruiting? It actually matters a lot. And the biggest way it manifests itself is in wages, of course. So here we show both total pay, including bonuses, and regular pay at a nominal level. And you see how it's, even now that it's decelerated, the pay raises are above where they were pre-pandemic. But of course, this is nominal pay raises. These are nominal average weekly earnings annualized. And so while the pay has decelerated from where it was a few months ago, it still seems high at a nominal level. But of course, when we adjust for inflation here, and these ONS statistics on real pay, that's inflation adjusted pay, shows that now real wage gains are essentially zero, that all the nominal wage gains are being wiped out. So how does this affect recruiting? When you have an environment of relatively strong nominal wage growth, but also high inflation, you're going to potentially see a spiral of ever increasing wage demands on behalf of job seekers. And so the key takeaway here, when we pivot later in the presentation to talk about how you can act on this information, the key takeaway is benchmarking your pay, your wages, at a more regular interval to be competitive with what the market rate is. So this really matters, and it's affecting the broader economy, because as inflation is at a 30-year high, the Bank of England has been consistently raising its forecast. So this is a chart from the FT where you see the BOE forecast for inflation moving ever steadily upward. The February blue line, light blue line here is the most recent forecast, and you see how the BOE expects 7% inflation this spring. Again, I mentioned earlier, energy costs are up 58%. We see national insurance contribution rising. So the inflation forecast for the BOE is rising, and the BOE is responding by raising interest rates. So for the first time since 2004, so that's 18 years, for the first time in 18 years, the BOE has raised interest rates in back-to-back meetings since 2004. So this is a huge issue in terms of cost of living pressures in the UK. This matters in terms of what job seekers expect and what recruiters need to respond with.